Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4. Welcome to August in Florida.
It's another warm day today.
And severe weather struck east or west of here, but that's moving out of the area right now. But yeah, it's summertime.
And you know it'll come to an end, so you feel
abruptly.
Like you have to savor this because you know it won't last long.
I was told at noon we're going from Florida to Alaska by the end of the week.
There you go. There you go.
All right, we'll get to the weather in a minute, but first, here's what's making news this Tuesday. Hurricane Michael is bearing down on the Florida Panhandle, packing winds of more than 100 miles per hour. That makes it the strongest hurricane to hit this country in over a year.
An early morning explosion rocks an ethanol plant in Monroe. We'll have the latest on the damage.
And the president is looking for a new ambassador to the United Nations after a surprise resignation.
Let's take a look outside today. Windy and warm, very humid today. It felt like summertime.
Yep, and
That's
some threatening clouds too. The weather words for today: stormy skies stay. And Dana's in the backyard. Had some severe weather this afternoon. That's moving out now?
Not really. It's actually moving in for us. Just off to the west, we're dealing with some storms, and we're going to continue to see those stormy skies through the rest of the evening. Off into Iowa, they actually have a tornado watch extending until 9 o'clock this evening. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning for Iowa County. Right now, we're just seeing some storms move through part of Iowa and Grant County. No watches or warnings in central or southern Wisconsin right now, though. As you can see, again, it's just off to the west, and it's going to continue to lift northeast right into Wisconsin, including some stronger storms certainly possible. We're seeing some lightning, as you can see, right into Iowa County right now. A stronger storm getting ready to slide right into Grant County. And even in Dane County, we're seeing a few little isolated showers, some rainfall up in Sauk County right now as well. And this is the picture that we're going to be dealing with through much of the evening. Showers and some stronger thunderstorms expected, just scattered around overnight and into tomorrow. As Mark mentioned, though, Alaska, Canadian, cool weather on the way here soon. Here's a look at our Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. This is facing southwest, so you can see those storms moving on in. It was clear a little bit ago. We've had one storm slide on through. We're going to get a little break in the rain, and then some more storms certainly possible. It is warm outside. It is muggy outside, and that has helped fueling the potential for some strong to even severe thunderstorms for us. 80 currently in Madison, 81 though in Monroe and in Janesville right now. Those dew points also pretty high. You could just feel it walking outside. For tomorrow, we're expecting temperatures to be just slightly cooler in the low 70s rather than close to 80 for us, like what we saw today. Notice through much of the day, though, spending most of the day in the 60s. We'll pop right into that low 70s line, and then we'll see a big cool down Wednesday night heading into the end of the week. Quite a drop for the end of your 10-day forecast, but scattered storms still expected for us tomorrow. We'll take a closer look at the future track in just a little bit. First, a quick update with your first alert traffic. Right now, much of Dane County seems to be going along okay. The Beltline, as always, just a little slower. A little closer look near John Nolan Drive. Eastbound, just east of John Nolan Drive, about 41 miles an hour. You get west of it, though, slowing down just a little bit. Traveling at about 34 miles an hour. Popping up near Waunakee, we're seeing speeds there slowing down just a little bit on 19. Heading westbound. Drive times all green, 5 minutes from John Nolan to 39 or 90. John Nolan to Verona Road about 5 minutes, and then 17 minutes if you're heading eastbound on University Avenue to I-39. No major accidents to report right now, but we'll keep a close eye on things. And of course, if you're anywhere in the western areas with the rain, be a little careful on the roads over the next few hours.
All right, we'll check back in a few minutes. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Dana. First at 4, about 120,000 people along the Florida Panhandle have been ordered to evacuate as Hurricane Michael closes in on the Gulf of Mexico.
The storm expected to make landfall sometime tomorrow, possibly as a strong Category 3 storm. Hillary Lane reports from Panama City Beach, Florida.
Downtown Panama City Beach, Florida is nearly deserted. Businesses are closed and most owners have evacuated as Hurricane Michael picks up steam. But Wendy Hamilton, who owns 3 stores, is staying put.
Our house is hurricane safe. We've got a generator, we've got plenty of water, we're good to go.
Ivory Yaraday and her elderly parents are also riding out the storm.
We have a parking garage, we have plenty of water, our tub's filled up. We're ready.
Long lines of traffic, low fuel supplies, and empty store shelves convince both women to keep their families home. Hurricane Michael is expected to make landfall tomorrow. Here in Panama City Beach, the wind has been intensifying and the water's been getting rougher with each passing hour. The National Hurricane Center is telling people to get ready for deadly winds, at least a foot of rain, and a storm surge of up to 12 feet. Governor Rick Scott urged people to get out while they still can.
The time to prepare is right now. This storm is dangerous, and if you don't follow warnings from officials, this storm could kill you.
Wendy Hamilton and her husband have secured their storefronts. Now they're waiting for Michael to come and go.
We want to be here to be able to get back to the business, to get it open, so it's supposed to be a beautiful weekend.
Michael is predicted to be the most devastating hurricane to hit the Panhandle in the last several decades. Forecasters say it will cross Georgia and the Carolinas as a weaker storm. Hillary Lane, CBS News, Panama City Beach, Florida.
And evacuation shelters are open across the Panhandle. Florida's governor has declared a state of emergency in 25 counties and says the National Guard is ready to help. Well, an early morning explosion rocks an ethanol plant in southern Wisconsin. It
happened at Badger State Ethanol on Monroe's west side. Eric Franke is in the newsroom with the latest. Eric?
Susan and Mark, this happened very early this morning, just before 6 o'clock at Badger State Ethanol, which fortunately is just a tenth of a mile from the fire department there. The response was quick, followed by mutual aid from various area departments. Those extra units called in as a precautionary measure. The fire was quickly under control. Emergency management officials telling us drones were sent up, thermal imaging also used. They were trying to determine just how quickly it was burning and the temperatures inside that silo.
Well, a grain silo concern is always dust, and that's always a possibility of an explosion. We're not sure what causes the explosion because this is an ongoing scene right now. It is under control, but it's going to be investigated thoroughly to determine what did cause this.
Good news is no injuries, no evacuations. McEwen says there is no threat to the community at this time. That was just dry corn inside that silo. The plant remains operational. It is separate from the damaged silo. We reached out to Badger State Ethanol today. Haven't heard back yet. According to the website there, that building was completed back in 2002. It has the capacity to produce 85 million gallons of ethanol for each year for Midwest markets. Mark and Susan.
All right, Eric Franke live in the News Center. Thank you.
You're welcome.
A surprise resignation announcement at the White House this morning.
She told me probably 6 months ago, she said, maybe at the end of the year, at the end of a 2-year period, but at the end of the year, I want to take a little time off. I want to take a little break.
President Trump says UN Ambassador Nikki Haley was special to him, but some are questioning the timing of Haley's resignation, with the U.S. trying to resolve turmoil around the globe. Just shy of 2 years on the job, Haley was instrumental in announcing new economic sanctions against North Korea and defended America's airstrikes on Syria last year. Haley worked alongside Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on foreign policy issues.
She's been a great partner of mine for the now 5 months that she and I have been working together.
Haley has been a rising star within the Republican Party, with speculation of a presidential run somewhere in her future. But today she said she is not running in 2020. She will step down at the end of the year. With exactly 4 weeks until the election, the candidates for governor are talking about job creation in Wisconsin.
Governor Walker was the keynote speaker at an event for the state's largest business lobbying group today in Madison, while his Democratic opponent, Tony Evers, spoke with News 3 today. Rose Schmidt is here to tell us how Walker and Evers say that they will get workers into jobs in our state.
That's right. Well, Governor Walker says he's worked hard over the past 8 years to create a better business climate and touted the state's unemployment rate of 3%. Meanwhile, Tony Evers today says his economic development plan involves getting rid of WISC. Walker says in the near future he'll have an announcement on ways people can find jobs when they leave the prison system and re-enter society. Evers, in an interview today with News 3, responded to that, saying his goal is to get people out of the correction system completely, getting them into the workforce instead of in prison. While Walker has championed the Taiwanese company Foxconn coming to Wisconsin, Evers says the state can't have Foxconn running its economic development, and there has to be a plan in place to help every county, not just Racine.
The small business owners of the state, the entrepreneurs, they're the ones that need the help. They're the ones that are the job creators. And so my economic development plan will be focused around that.
My belief is if you're an able-bodied, working-age adult in this state, my expectation is you work at least 30 hours a week and that you're able to pass a drug test before you get assistance.
Walker says he's focused on getting everyone into a job, from veterans to people in the correction system, and he specifically mentioned helping people with disabilities get jobs, a plan that Evers says he actually worked with Walker to implement in his capacity as state superintendent. The Marquette Law School poll last month showed Evers leading Walker by 5 points. The next poll results will be out tomorrow, and we'll break down that information tomorrow on News 3.
That's going to be very interesting, the new poll coming out tomorrow. Rose, thank you.
Thank you, Rose. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh took the bench today, asking a handful of questions in the first arguments of the day. He asked questions of both sides in arguments over increased prison sentences for repeat offenders. Chief Justice John Roberts welcomed Kavanaugh on behalf of the entire court. The new justice's wife and 2 daughters were in seats reserved for the justice's guests, along with retired Justice Anthony Kennedy. Kavanaugh replaced Kennedy on the bench.
Well, when we come back, we'll preview the upcoming Wisconsin Leadership Conference.
There is another good reason not to carry any credit card debt. Interest rates are on the rise. We'll have that story and more still to come on Live at 4.
Welcome back. USA Today reports personal loans are the fastest growing consumer debt, and borrowers are getting younger.
The share of personal loan borrowers between 18 and 35 has doubled since 2015. Among the top reasons for young adults to get a personal loan, debt and credit card consolidation. Also major purchases, including moving expenses and weddings.
Credit card interest rates are on the rise. According to creditcards.com, the average interest rate topped 17% this year. That's up almost 1% from a year ago. The rise comes in the aftermath of the Federal Reserve hiking its key lending rate 3 times in 2018. Banks typically use that as a benchmark in setting certain rates. Stocks were mixed on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials lost 56 points, closing at 26,430. The NASDAQ Composite Index was up 2, the S&P 500 off 4. Well, Madison 365 is a nonprofit news organization, and the Ho-Chunk Nation are bringing together influential leaders of color from all across Wisconsin.
The Wisconsin Leadership Summit will take place at the Ho-Chunk Gaming and Convention Center in Baraboo next week on Thursday and Friday, October 18th and 19th. Madison 365 publisher and CEO Henry Sanders is here, along with the Master of Ceremonies and host for the event, former Badger and NFL wide receiver Brandon Williams. Great to see both of you.
Welcome both.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Again,
yeah, good to see you again.
So Henry, tell us, what was the idea behind this leadership summit?
Well, as Madison 365, as you know, we're really trying to give a voice to the voiceless, as I would say. And sometimes when we talk about people of color in the state, we talk about disparities, but we don't always talk about the positive things that we're doing. So every year we do a most influential list of leaders of color. So we focus on African Americans and our Latino brothers and sisters every year. And so over the years, we found out that what happens if we bring them together for one time to actually talk about some issues that are going on in our state? How do we attract and retain people of color? What are some of the issues that they're concerned about? And so we partner with our friends up there at Ho-Chunk Nation to start this summit next week coming up. And so we're excited about it.
And Brandon, what is your message that you're going to bring?
So for me, it's all about creating the right culture, the right atmosphere, and bringing everybody together so that we can have conversations. When Henry approached me about this opportunity, I jumped at it because I'm all about bringing diverse people together to have conversations about what really changes the community and what really gets at the heart of what we need to be talking about here in Madison. I've been back for about 3 years, and the reason I came back to Madison was because of because of people who've been in this community, and they took me in as a young 18-year-old, and now I'm back as 34 years old with the family. I'm getting old. I'm getting old. Hey, I'll be 35 in February. Slow down now. So it's just been a great opportunity for me to connect with more leaders in this region.
Well, it's great to have you back in Madison.
Thank you.
So, Henry, what are the issues that you're going to be talking about that everybody needs to hear about?
We have about 13 different panels. So we have one on social justice, and what does that mean today? We have about healthcare disparities, the C-suite, which I'm really interested in. Like, what does it mean to be a person of color who's actually in management and running organizations? We really focus on K through 12 education. What are some of the issues we're having there? Also talk about college issues. So we have a panel about women in excellence. So we can try to touch a lot of different issues by having more robust conversations around it.
Brandon, how do you think your life would be different if you hadn't been a football player, if you hadn't been in the NFL?
That is a great question. I really don't know. I've never really thought about what will my life be like without the game of football, because it's really bled into who I am. Once you leave the NFL or stop playing professional sports altogether, you have to learn how to become the new you. And so the new me has been somebody who's all about helping people find their purpose, find their identity, because it's something that I struggled with myself. It's something that I had to figure out and figure that road, that path. And it's been diverse people, diverse backgrounds who've spoken into my life and helped me do that. And so for me, I don't even want to think about what it would be like if I never played football, because I probably wouldn't be sitting here on this panel with you all right now.
It opened a lot of doors for you.
It has. It has opened a lot of doors, from corporate America to opportunities with entrepreneurship, and just connecting with people all across this country, opportunities to go abroad. I just got a passport last year and was able to go on the Wisconsin alumni cruise as a dignitary for the university. Now, how would that have happened if I wouldn't have been able to play sports and come to this great university?
Oh, well, that is wonderful. And Henry, is everyone invited, or do you have to be a person of color in order to participate?
No, everyone is welcome. We want everyone to come, just recognizing that we're just trying to, people of color talking to each other about the issues, but everyone is, I hope you two come. You two should come.
I'd love to come. Honestly, I would love to come. I mean, I think it's important to hear the conversations and how we're addressing the issues.
Yeah, it's a very important conference coming up. leadership, and congratulations for
Thank
putting
you.
all together, and continued success, Brendan.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Thank you for
Absolutely.
coming.
Thanks for having us.
The Wisconsin Leadership Summit is next Thursday and Friday at the Ho-Chunk Gaming and Convention Center in Baraboo. Registration is $200. To register and to learn more information, go to WisconsinLeadershipSummit.com.
When we come back, Facebook is putting the face part first.
Yeah, the company's coming up with a new device where you can talk to people face to face on the internet or something. We'll find out when Live at 4 continues. Take a look at this. It looks like something out of a movie. 2 inmates using trash bins to escape from a Kentucky prison. Authorities say the suspects were rolled out in the bins by fellow inmates. They then popped out and made their escape from the Louisville Metro Correction Center. Both suspects later apprehended by police, and 3 inmates are now facing charges for helping the 2 men escape.
It was a great plan until the security cameras.
Almost.
There they are. There's the Einsteins.
Yes, brilliant. Brilliant. It is Tuesday, October 9th. It is National Moldy Cheese Day. Some colors are safe, some are not.
Yeah.
Red and brown molds are bad. Gray, blue, and green cheeses, those are good mold.
Yeah, like Camembert and Brie and blue cheese, right?
It is National Sneakers Day today, also known as tennis shoes. You say tennis shoes or sneakers?
I say tennis shoes.
Do you?
Tennis shoes.
You can, the term sneaker is mostly used in the Northeast and Florida. That's interesting.
Huh.
When they first made the shoes, everybody wore hard-soled shoes.
Yeah.
Well, this way you could sneak up on people.
That's the history. Okay.
Clever.
International Pizza and Beer Day as well. The pairing of pizza and beer, which is perfect, by the way, is relatively new. So.
Really?
I guess so.
Too bad we don't have some props today.
Right.
Let's get a moldy cheese, moldy
Pizza?
sneakers.
So all things must come to an end, right? And the heat and humidity will.
They are wrapping up with a tight little bow on them. We are going to be cooler by the end of the week, quite a bit cooler, but first we have to get through some storms this afternoon. We're going to take a look at some of the storm potentials for this evening right after the break. Looking a little stormy in the sky right now, even in Madison, even though the rain seems to be a little further west because of the storm potential. Tonight, we do have alert days in our forecast for this evening, so through the rest of today and for tomorrow. We may see some very strong, even severe thunderstorms through the rest of this evening with high winds, hail, and heavy rainfall possible. Wednesday, even more storms on the way for us with some strong and heavy rain possible. Those rain moments, if we have the heavy rainfall, could lead to some flooding concerns heading into the end of Wednesday. Right now, we have a tornado watch stretching through Missouri and Iowa. Nothing for us currently in central and southern Wisconsin, but notice how those storms are just moving right along northeast. They have had a few tornado warnings in Iowa. We've just had a few severe thunderstorm warnings for us. The heaviest rain seems to be moving right into Sauk County right now. Those are thunderstorms. We've seen lightning come on through. We did again have a few severe thunderstorm warnings issued in Iowa County. Right now there isn't anything in effect for us, but the storms that are moving through are a little strong, and we'll continue to watch if they cross that criteria and become severe thunderstorms for us. And we're expected this image pretty much to continue through the rest of the evening and overnight with scattered isolated showers and and storms as this system continues to move northeast. We stay unsettled overnight and into tomorrow, and then finally a cold front is swinging through. It's going to wrap things up for us and cool us down quite a bit Wednesday night heading into the end of the week and the weekend. A very different end to the week compared to where we have started the week off. Staying very cloudy for us. We're going to watch these showers and thunderstorms continue overnight into the evening. The heaviest rain certainly off to the west for us. Your Wednesday morning will start off with some heavy rainfall and showers and things coming through early in the afternoon, and then we will start to dry up later in the evening. A line of showers expected to come through really before 4 o'clock, and then after 4, 5, 6, we slowly clear up and we start to cool down quite a bit. The clouds track to the east as well. Overnight lows on Wednesday falling through the 40s, and then we get a little more sunshine in the forecast heading into Thursday morning, and of course Thursday afternoon. That excessive rainfall threat does extend into the northern portion of Wisconsin, but notice for us, we're really mostly under a slight or even marginal threat to have some excessive rainfall. Because of that rain threat, we do have some flooding concerns heading ahead. That's for tonight. Heading for tomorrow, the rain shifts really far east. That flood watch extends into Wednesday afternoon through northern Wisconsin and also the western edge, Sauk City and Iowa. Sauk County and Iowa counties included in that. Our slight risk for severe weather is the southwest corner of Wisconsin extending south. That risk goes up to an enhanced risk into parts of Iowa, and the main concerns are still the possibility to see some thunderstorms that produce some hail, some very strong wind gusts, and also that heavy rain threat. Into tomorrow, the rain threat and the severe threat shifts a little further east. Dane County still expecting to see some stronger thunderstorms pop up tomorrow, but it is only just a marginal risk for us, and the heavier rain is going to be off to the east. Right now, things are looking a little cloudy. We do have an alert that just popped on up. We actually have a tornado warning for north central Iowa County and for south central Sauk County. So I'm going to bounce right back, actually, as we can head on over to our radar, getting through this all right now. As we were just talking about, this frontal system is going to continue to bring storms. That's the area that we're concerned about, that isolated thunderstorm sliding on through, bringing very heavy rainfall right at the edge of, again, Iowa County and Sauk County. That tornado warning is in effect until 5 o'clock this evening. It's at about 4:30 right now. That severe thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado. So anybody in that area, anyone, again, in north central Iowa County or south central Sauk County needs to seek shelter immediately. There is a tornado warning in effect right now for that area. So we do have the chance to see some very strong wind gusts around it, but also the tornado warning. We're zooming in just a little closer as we can bounce down. Gary Canalti helping us out over at the weather desk right now. That tornado warning just issued at 4:29 goes until 5 o'clock. Again, just outside of Lone Rock. It's about 13 miles north of Dodgeville and near Spring Green. Moving northeast at about 35 miles per hour. That tornado warning in effect for the next few hours in the north central area of Iowa County and south central area of Sauk County. Anyone in this area needs to seek shelter immediately. Getting into a basement, if you have anyone in this area, you need to make sure you can get a hold of them and tell them they need to take cover. That's the area that we're most concerned about. You can see the difference there looking at our velocity right now. We are expecting to see some damage around the area. This is a radar indicated rotation for us. We don't have eyes on the ground just yet, but that tornado warning is in effect if you're just now joining us for north central Iowa County and for south central Sauk County. This is all a part of a frontal system that is sliding through, bringing scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout central and southern Wisconsin over the last several hours. We've had a few severe thunderstorm warnings issued, but this is our first tornado warning that we've had issued this afternoon for the central and southern Wisconsin area. Again, this is north central Iowa County, south central Sauk County. This severe thunderstorm that we've been watching has been moving northeast at just about 35 miles per hour. First located just about 13 miles north of Dodgeville, but now right near Spring Green and Lone Rock, as you can see, along 14. So if anyone's planning on traveling in that direction, do know that you're going to have to wait and hold off. If you have anyone that's trying to travel eastbound from Lone Rock into Madison do know that it's going to take a little extra time, and they should certainly stay inside right now and not try to hit the roads at all, because we do have this tornado warning in effect until 5 o'clock. I'm going to bounce it on over to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. He's over at the weather desk right now taking a closer look at the radar as well.
Yeah, Dana, we're keeping a very close eye on the situation. This storm has developed pretty rapidly just over the southern portion of Sauk County and the northern portion of Iowa County, just to the east of Lone Rock. That's the area that's most concerned. And we're going to switch over to the wind velocity here to show you an idea of where the wind circulation will be. And I'm going to zoom in on that area. It looks like it's right along U.S. Highway 14, just to the east of Lone Rock. By zooming in that area, it looks like it is almost right over Spring Green. So if you are in Spring Green, you need to be in a safe place immediately. The storm is tracking toward the north, toward Plain, so you're next in line. So if you are in this area, you need to take shelter immediately. Again, as far as tornado safety rules are concerned, you need to go to the lowest portion of your building, the center part of the basement, if you have a basement. If you don't have a basement, center part of your house is as far away from outside walls and windows, and cover yourself with blankets or pillows to protect yourself from flying debris in case your house gets hit by the tornado. If you're in a mobile home, you need to get out of there. Those mobile homes, even if they're tied down, really offer very little protection against strong winds, and certainly not against the tornado. But again, if you're outside, or if you're thinking of going into your car and trying to get away from the storm, if you're far enough away from it, that would be a good thing if you're, say, north of Plain. But otherwise, if you're anywhere in the vicinity around Spring Green, it's too late. You need to seek shelter exactly where you are now. So again, we're going to come back to the radar display here. There is the tornado warning, and we're going to flash this here so you get an idea of the area that's actually under the tornado warning. And I'm just going to widen out the area a bit because it does extend basically the extreme northern portion of Iowa County, but for the most part, I think it's almost out of Iowa County and into Sauk County. The area of most concern right around Spring Green, we're seeing wind circulation just right around Highway 14. I'll circle that area there to show you the area that we're really watching right here, right around Spring Green. The storm tracking toward the north, right along Wisconsin Highway 23 toward Plain at about 30 miles per hour. So again, if you're in Plain, Black Hawk, even farther north than Plain, the storm is moving at about 30 miles per hour, and so it is moving pretty quickly. You need to get into a safe shelter area immediately. Monitoring the National Weather Service here, have not seen any reports of a touchdown. It's mainly just that wind circulation that we've been watching. The tornado warning in effect until 5 p.m. again for the central portion of or the southern portion of Iowa County and into the far extreme northern portions of Iowa County and into southern Sauk County, but I think most of Iowa County is out of this. So anywhere along and north of U.S. Highway 14, that is the area of most concern. Now, we'll take a little wider radar perspective because we've been watching other severe weather in the area. There have been some strong to severe thunderstorms that have been moving into parts of Crawford County. It looks like now we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Crawford County until 5:15. And that is because of some severe thunderstorms in and around, let's see, I'm actually going to get the text of the warning here so I can tell you exactly what the National Weather Service has been seeing. But we've been watching that strong storm cell between Prairie du Chien and Wazeeka. And that storm also tracking toward the north and maybe north-northeast at about 30 miles per hour. That storm capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar-sized hail. So again, Crawford County under a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:15. But the area of most concern right now, we have that tornado warning in effect really for the extreme northern portion of Iowa County, but more for the southern portion of Sauk County, and that is basically from around just north of Plain and Black Hawk southward to the Spring Green area. Anywhere in that area, you need to seek shelter immediately. And I'll tell you what, Dana, if you want to go back in the chroma key area there, because we can actually point out some of this area. I can just run the radar here, and you can point out some of these things. But basically, this is an area that we really have to watch out for because this storm has developed very rapidly. We're Still seeing the wind circulation in there, and you can clearly see that wind circulation just to the north of Spring Green there. So that's the area, and you can see the difference in wind velocities. I'll actually put a little marker here, and we'll see what the wind velocity difference is here.
What our gate-to-gate shear is. And again, that storm is going to continue to travel north right towards Plain. So that is the area that we're keeping the closest eye on, just north of Spring Green right now. Quite a difference between the two velocities there. There we go.
Yeah, and the circulation right now appears to be broadening a little bit. We're not seeing the tight rotation that we saw earlier, but that also indicates that there is a threat area just to the north of Spring Green, pretty much in that area north of Highway 14 and along Highway 23. So that's something that bears watching, especially if you're in the area up toward Plain, because that's the area that's most at risk.
And Gary, that rotation is what triggered this tornado warning. It is a radar indicated tornado, the rotation that we're seeing there. As you mentioned, just starting to cross northward, the south central area of Sauk City, or Sauk County, just north of Spring Green. That's the area that we're concerned about right now, as this thunderstorm has moved northeast at about 35 miles an hour very quickly into the area, developing very rapidly. And now we have that tornado warning issued for the area surrounding Spring Green. If you are anywhere near Spring Green, you certainly need to take cover right now. Now is not the time to try to go figure out what you can do, what you can grab. It's the time to get into your basement or the innermost room in your house if you can. If you have a basement with or a bathroom with no windows, or that hallway in the middle of your house, and trying to put a blanket or pillow over your head, that's what you need to do at this time. If you're anywhere north of Spring Green, for Plain and over to Black Hawk as well, those are the areas that need to take cover, because this is a very strong thunderstorm. Even with that radar indicated tornado possibility, the areas around it still dealing with some very strong wind and very heavy rainfall right now. We can see some lightning mixed on in there as well. The storm is moving northeast at about 35 miles per hour. Our tornado warning is in effect until 5 o'clock as the storm continues to slide. As you can already see, quite a bit north just in the last several minutes, bringing a lot of wind to this area. This is what we are most concerned about right now, seeing a little bit of rotation there. That rotation, again, broadening a little bit, but still quite a concern for us over the next several minutes as this storm continues to travel northeast. That's the area that caused this tornado warning to be triggered. When we see it indicated on a radar, it may not need boots on the ground. If it looks like that radar is indicating some sort of rotation, then the National Weather Service will issue a tornado warning. So this is the area that we've been watching, Gary, for the last several minutes, with that tornado warning being issued for us. So it does look like there may have been some hail also just south of Spring Green towards Wyoming, with our current hail estimates. Looking ahead for the last, or looking back over the last 30 minutes, that hail zone sliding on through, sliding right on up towards Spring Green with the current hail estimates there. If we could go back just to look at the radar again, I want to point out that this tornado warning was issued at 4:29 for us, and now it goes until 5 o'clock, sliding just a little further north. And the last several minutes, you can see how much that storm, or how far that storm has traveled, and the northeast portion traveling about 35 miles per hour. That tornado warning's traveled 35 miles per hour as that storm continues to move northeast. If you're just now joining us, it's for north central Iowa County and for south central Sauk County. Just north of Spring Green is the area we're most concerned about, traveling along 23 towards Plain, also parts of 14 dealing with that strong storm that had just moved northern towards Plain. Black Hawk right now, those areas you need to take cover. You need to get into a basement or into the innermost room in your house, certainly away from any windows or glass if you can. At this moment, you definitely want to try to take cover, placing a blanket over your head, anything that you can do to secure yourself and your family inside, as this storm does have a radar indicated tornado with it. That tornado warning, again, in effect till 5 o'clock for us as this tornado, or this system, continues to travel north. Gary?
And Dana, just an update here. The public did report a tornado touchdown near Spring Green at about 4:27, relayed through the Sauk County Dispatch. So that is another reason that tornado warning was issued. Now, the storm itself has moved well north of Spring Green. I mean, it's pretty much out of Iowa County altogether. So the area really of most concern now is right around Plain, and then heading up toward Honey Creek, Loretta, and then farther north, Loganville and North Freedom. While not in the warning area, that storm is definitely tracking in your direction, and if the warning needs to be extended, that is is an area that needs to be watched very carefully. In fact, if I was in Loganville, I would start looking for a safe place to go to right now because that storm still, while the velocity not quite as intense as it was before, the wind circulation, let's point the area just about maybe 2 miles south of Plain is where I would make the best chance of there being a tornado. And again, the wind circulation not as intense as it was earlier, but still, as that storm tracks off toward the north, still capable of producing a tornado. The other storm that we do want to just take a brief look at is in Crawford County, and I'm going to switch to the main radar view here. This is in Crawford County. A severe thunderstorm warning is in effect there. That is until 5:15. That storm looking really nasty. It is almost certainly producing very large hail just to the north and west of Wazeeka. And if we look at the wind velocity there, this storm also has some wind rotation. The National Weather Service in La Crosse monitoring it very closely. That would be just to the south and west of Steuben and to the south and east of Eastman. So if you are in that part of Crawford County, you want to, I would start moving toward a safe area because that storm actually has a better rotation right now than the storm over the southern portion of Sauk County. This storm has really been taking off in the last, say, 15 minutes or so. And going back to the main radar display, what you're seeing here, this is most likely very large hail in the area between, just to the south of Highway 179 there, and that is most likely very large hail. In fact, if we go to the hail estimates here and see what the hail projection is there, this is the last update that the radar had. And yeah, this is this far southern portion of Crawford County. That storm perhaps producing hail up to golf ball size as it continues on toward the north and northeast. And as we check out hail zone, this is a forecast of where hail may be occurring over the next 30 minutes. We're waiting for the latest update there, but the area right around Steuben, I think, would probably be most in line for the potential for some very large hail at the very least. Now, the other concern, of course, is the wind circulation that we've been seeing in there, and I'll go back to that wind velocity display, and that is just to the south and west of Steuben by maybe, let's see, do a quick check here, about 4 miles southwest of Steuben. So that is the area that that really bears some watching. Anywhere to the west of Steuben and to the east of Eastman, that storm has some rotation in it. It is under a severe thunderstorm warning right now, but we'll have to see whether or not anything comes of that rotation. At the very least, it's producing very large hail. Very large hail and also some very strong wind gusts. We see the potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with the severe thunderstorm warning. Again, just about 4 miles away from Steuben, but traveling northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So this is another storm moving in very, very quickly, bringing very heavy rainfall rapidly to the area in central Crawford County. Again, just outside of Steuben and Eastman is where we're seeing the potential for some hail right now, anywhere up to a $50 sized hail, so a big chunk for you. Anyone in that area needs to head inside right now. Try to find cover in that lowest level of your house or, of course, the innermost room if possible, because there is the potential for some very strong wind gusts mixed in that storm. You don't need a tornado to have severe damage. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, very severe situation. Again, that's our severe thunderstorm warning. Gary right now is running our radar over in the corner. We also have a tornado warning I want to flip on over to very quickly. Our tornado warning still in effect for parts of central Sauk County, south central Sauk County until 5 o'clock, so just about another 12 minutes or so. The area that we're concerned about still near Plain, so north of Spring Green. That storm, it seems to be crossing out of the tornado warning line. There is the potential for it to, of course, be extended or advanced. That hasn't happened at this time, but anyone in Loretta or towards Honey Creek, even in Black Hawk, you need to be seeking shelter immediately because we are seeing still a little bit of rotation there, not too much. It is starting to widen out a little bit, as Gary was pointing out, but we are still dealing with very heavy rainfall and strong wind gusts around Plain and up towards Loretta, Honey Creek, and into Black Hawk right now. And Guess what, Dana? We have another tornado warning. This one actually not for Crawford County, but it is farther to the north. This is for Marquette County. And we're going to zoom in on that area up here as another very strong thunderstorm has developed up there. And let's see, we're going to take a look at that area right here. It is right around Packwaukee. A tornado warning now in effect until 5:30. And that is for the area right around Montello. That's where a possible tornado being indicated by National Weather Service Doppler radar. I'm going to switch over to the wind velocity here and show you about where that storm is. It's actually, I would put it about maybe 4 or 5 miles to the east of Montello, or west of Montello, sorry, right along Highway 11. 7 miles is what I would make it. And that storm also tracking toward the north, maybe north-northeast at about 20 miles per hour. If I put a little marker here, this is about where the tornado would be, right near I-39 and Highway 82. So that would be just around the Packwaukee exit there. That storm will be tracking toward Harrisville and just to the west of Montello. So if you are in that area, you need to seek shelter. We have another tornado warning, this one in effect for for much of Marquette County until 5:30 p.m. So let's widen out the view here, and we'll take a look at the current warnings that we have in effect. We have tornado warning now for the southern portion of Sauk County until 5 p.m. We have a tornado warning in effect until 5:30 for much of Marquette County. Looks like another severe thunderstorm warning also coming out, and that is for the northwestern portion of Columbia County. That storm looks like it right around Portage, probably producing some very large hail. If we take a look at the hail size estimates right now, that storm, is that just to the south and west of Portage, could be producing a large area of hail, perhaps up to the size of golf balls or larger. So, this is we're seeing severe weather breaking out. The National Weather Service is saying that the storm in Sauk County, we've had no additional reports of a tornado. The warning still runs until 5 p.m. They are likely to let the tornado warning expire, assuming nothing else changes. But again, this is a very, very changeable situation. We're having these severe thunderstorms pop up very rapidly, and right now, severe thunderstorm warning for the northwestern portion of Columbia County until 5:15. Large hail, the main threat there. We have a tornado warning, that in effect until 5:30. That is for much of Marquette County. Farther to the south, we have a tornado warning that is in effect until 5 p.m. for Sauk County, the southern portion of Sauk County. That storm weakening as it passes to the north of Plain. That warning may not be extended, but again, at the very least, a very strong storm heading up in the vicinity of Loganville. And then we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Crawford County until 5:15 p.m. So that would include areas north of Wazeeka and to the north and east of Prairie du Chien. So the central portion of Sauk County heading up toward Soldiers Grove. That would be the area that would be most affected by that storm, capable of producing large hail. There is some wind circulation in there, not strong enough to have the confidence in saying that there's the potential for a tornado there, but that storm does bear a lot of watching.
All right, and Gary, this is it's been an unstable situation for us all day. It's so hot and so humid outside. This is why we had an alert day in the forecast through this evening and into this afternoon as we were watching these scattered showers and thunderstorms lift right into Wisconsin. We were concerned about the storms as they were building in, and now the severe weather has arrived. So again, we're watching 2 severe thunderstorm warnings right now and 2 tornado warnings. The closest one there in Lone Rock, or near Lone Rock, until 5 o'clock. Looks like it is going to be allowed to expire for the south central portion of Sauk County. That's what we're most focused on, as that storm that's now north of Plain, traveling northeast at about 35 miles per hour into Honey Creek towards Black Hawk. Still seeing some stronger storm potential around Loretta. That's the tornado warning that will be expiring in just about 8 minutes. Still seeing very, very heavy rainfall. I want to bounce on over to the other tornado warning we're keeping an eye on in northwest Marquette County until 5:30. We do have the chance to see some very strong are very strong quarter-size hail and also some very strong wind gusts with that tornado warning. That's the area that we're going to be keeping an eye on, just about 15 minutes north of Portage, and it's moving northeast at about 20 miles per hour, still very, very quickly. So anyone in that area, northwest Marquette County, near Harris, also near Montello, you definitely need to seek shelter immediately. Find the innermost room in your house or going to the lowest level of your home if you can. Now is the time to make sure that you can get into the safest area. If you don't have a basement, again, that interior room with no windows, whether it's a hallway or a bathroom, definitely get into some place where you and your family can be safe. If you're in a mobile home, you want to evacuate it immediately. Many mobile home parks have a safe place or some sort of bathroom installation that's built out of concrete bricks. That's the safest place that you can be, rather than being in something very flimsy and flexible like a mobile home. You want to cover yourself up with blankets and coats and pillows in case any glass around you is shattered or any falling debris. It's the best way to keep yourself safe. And if you're outside, you want to get indoors immediately. This tornado warning in effect for northwestern Marquette County. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located right near Montello. This is the area that we're keeping an eye on. We may also see some quarter-sized hail in that direction. So about 4 miles west of Montello, continuing to travel, though, northeast at about 20 miles per hour. So anyone in this location needs to seek shelter immediately. And understand this radar indicated tornado, it means severe damage could be in the area. And again, very strong wind gusts possible. So even if there is not a tornado on the ground, we want you to seek shelter because the situation is quite dangerous right now. It's going to continue to travel northeast for, again, the next about 20 miles per hour right now, sliding towards the northeastern portion of Marquette County right now. That storm is moving through very quickly. The tornado warning goes until 5:30. We do have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings also in effect right now with very strong wind gusts associated with them. Also some strong hail certainly possible with those 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that we're keeping a close eye on. A severe thunderstorm warning in northwest Columbia County goes until 5:15 this evening. So it's just about 20 more minutes for us, and some very large hail possible with this, up to about quarter-size, even a golf ball size hail possible with this severe thunderstorm warning. 60-mile-per-hour gusts also a concern. It's traveling northeast at about 30 miles per hour. There's the concern just southwest of Portage. I believe the last time we looked at this current hail estimate, it was not as aggressive, possibly seeing hail almost 3 inches just southwest of Portage. So please, if you're in that area, you want to make sure you get inside as quickly as possible. Over the next 30 minutes, we have the possibility to see hail stretching all the way up just east of Lewiston from Portage up towards Buffalo. We could see quarter-sized to golf ball-sized hail. So wind gust damage, also the possibility to have some hail damage with this severe thunderstorm. Again, that warning goes until 5:15. The storm traveling northeast at about 30 miles per hour. Hail a concern. Also the concern to see wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. We have another severe thunderstorm warning over at central Crawford County, also until 5:15 this evening. Just outside of Haney right now, we're seeing wind gusts up to about 60 miles per hour. Also the potential to see golf ball sized hail. Anyone who's outdoors needs to make sure they find themselves getting inside as the wind damage can be just as bad as any tornado damage. Again, this is in central Crawford County. And that's the area that we're most concerned about for seeing the potential for some rotation. This is not our tornado warning. We have 2 other areas we're keeping an eye on for tornado warnings. Right now we're talking about severe thunderstorm warning and the chance to see some very large hail along with this severe thunderstorm. Looking just southeast of Eastman, hail up to almost over 2 inches possible. This is our current hail estimates, what we're seeing right now. And if we can look and see what we have the potential over the next 30 minutes, those hail tracks there, again, just under 2 inches possible. It's going to continue east of Eastman, traveling northeast, the possibility to see hail just under 1 inch in size. And that is a significant hail track there. We have the possibility to see some hail along with those very strong wind gusts with this severe thunderstorm warning in central Crawford.